As you know, we are marking the 5th anniversary of the hack. As we did at the kickoff, we will be awarding the 5th, 15th, and 25th person who enters into the chat their favorite chat app. Ready and go. So enter in the chat your favorite chat app. What's a chat app? You know, I'm sure there's some good signal out there. Nice, great responses coming in. All right. Winners will receive a $25 gift card from Amazon, and they'll be announced later today. So let's take a look at what's in store. After a few opening remarks, we'll begin the competition with the team presentations and announce the winners after the break. At this time, I would like to bring Doug Murdoch, Chief Information Officer of the state of Hawaii, to get things started. Doug?
Thanks, Mark. Congratulations to everyone. We started off with 140 participants this year, a testament that the pandemic hasn't changed the excitement of the event. And if you weren't all in it for a free lunch this year, that's great. We didn't have a free lunch at all available. You all made it this far in the Hawaii Annual Code Challenge. I always like to say that if you can learn, you can create, and if you can create, you can change the world. So you all get a chance to start changing the world through the contributions you're making today. I'd like to thank all of you for participating and for making the hack a success once again this year. And now I'd like to bring on the founder of this event, our governor, Governor David Ige.
Drew, I just really wanted to welcome everyone and just say aloha and good job, everyone. The pandemic has certainly impacted us in many different ways. But it hasn't curbed your enthusiasm to participate in this hackathon. As you know, we started this 5 years ago and really focused on getting more people involved. I'm glad to see so many high schoolers involved this year. That was a specific effort that we made. I am really looking forward to all of your presentations. I'm always amazed with the innovation and creativity that all of you share with us as you put together your projects and teams work on the various challenges. This invaluable experience, especially for your young hackers, can really advance your careers, I think, as you build your resume and move forward. We have seen how much technology has helped during this pandemic. We would never have imagined doing a virtual hackathon as we did this year. But I do appreciate all of you hanging in there and learning with us as we've had to adopt and adapt to what we have normally done in the past. The hackathon is really our effort to build a local IT talent and create jobs so we can provide opportunities for all of you here at home in our islands. With the advances in technology, we've seen how virtually every single company has stood up a work from home program. And truly, this pandemic has shown all of us that every single job all across the country or every single business and organization has learned to allow people to work from home and more importantly, work from anywhere in the country. So thank you so much for participating in the hack. I really wanted to thank all the sponsors for supporting us, and many of you for all 5 years of our existence. This started as an innocent idea about trying to bring technology into state government, and all of you have really demonstrated and allowed us to really embrace technology in a way that we would not have imagined 5 years ago. So thank you so much for participating. I enjoy the energy that you all bring, and I look forward to the innovation and the presentations as we move forward. I will be an honorary judge this year. As many of you know, the First Lady has sponsored a challenge, and I did not want to have any chance of being a biased judge. but I have to admit that I am always inspired by all of your efforts and the many ideas and projects that you guys put forward on Judging Day. So thank you so much for participating. Aloha.
We first have Doug Murdoch, CIO, Office of Enterprise Technology Services, Christine Sakuda, Executive Director for Transform Hawaii Government, and Representative Mark Nakashima. Thank you for your time today. Okay. Technical judging began on November 12th. So let me introduce to you the 4 individuals who had the difficult task of evaluating your solutions. We thank them for their time and expertise. George Lee, HACC Tech Coordinator, Stuart Crawford, Associate Professor at HPU Computer Science Department, UC Cipolla, Senior IT Enterprise Architect at Enterprise Technology Services, and Ed Souza, Computer Science Instructor at HPU. Okay. Thelma will now explain how the scoring will work. Thelma?
Hi, everybody. So you've all passed the initial hurdle of technical review, which included the following 6 categories, maximum 5 points each for a total of 30 points per judge. Technical implementation, how well does your team utilize technical tools to meet user requirements and create a solution? The next one was functional evaluation video. Is there a video that clearly demonstrates the functional capabilities of the system? The next one is working prototype. Has solution been successfully deployed when appropriate, and does solution work as described on GitHub or DevPost? Innovation and excellence. Does the solution exhibit creativity, using existing technologies in a new and inventive way, and or demonstrate new ways to leverage hardware and software? The next one is user experience. Does the solution provide an intuitive experience for the user, and is it easy to use? Finally is software design. Does the application follow modern software development practices such as KISS, YAGNI, dry, and solid? Which now leads us to the presentation review process. Judges will award, the introduced judges will award a maximum of 25 points each, or 5 points for each of the following 5 categories. The first category is requirements. How well does the system satisfy the requirements of the challenge? Originality and design. To what extent is the solution or application creative and innovative? Resilience. Does the chosen technologies incorporate modern design and appear to be flexible and durable to provide a long-term solution for the state? Utility and impact. Do the functional components of the solution or application seem user-friendly or like it would have a positive impact on users? Finally, presentation and delivery. Did the team provide a well-executed and engaging presentation within prescribed time limits and incorporate required information to help judges evaluate their solution? The presentation format is a total of 5 minutes, 3 minutes for a presentation, 1 minute maximum live video or demonstration, and which is a walkthrough of your application, and then a 1 minute of Q&A. The clock will be set at 4 minutes, and I will be giving you verbal warnings of each of those thresholds. Your percentage results from the judges today will be added to your percentage results from the technical review, and this will be averaged, and the top result will take the prize. Ties will be resolved by the judges. The administrator will cast a tie-breaking vote if needed. And that's what we have today. Mark, may I ask you one request for the judges, please? As each team is coming up, please clearly state their name and which challenge they're working on so that they can find it on their list. Thank you.
All right, so besides the big prizes today, we will be awarding a separate prize this year for the People's Choice Award. You will have the opportunity to cast your vote for your favorite presentation. We'll be providing a link to capture your choice after all the presentations are done. The team with the highest votes will be awarded a $15 Starbucks gift card for each team member. So we begin the competition today with the high school teams. Hypertext, get ready. Hypertext will be sharing within the high school team category the COVID-19 chatbot. I'm sorry.
Family hypertext family resource directory?
Yes, Family Resource Directory. So Hypertext, are you ready? Are you able to share your screen?
Yes.
All right, begin when you're ready.
Hi, my name is Joseph, and our group's name is Hypertext of features the Hawaii system for the residents of Hawaii to easily find and access programs and services that their family needs, especially during this global pandemic. Because of this, we wanted to create a solution that can help both Hawaii residents and state workers. Our solution is the Family Resource Directory. The website incorporates programs and services from statewide government and nonprofit agencies in a user-friendly, one-stop shop directory to make the lives of the residents and state workers easier.
We have faced a couple of issues throughout the coding process. We have faced a couple of issues throughout the coding process of this project. Though it may have been given as we are beginning developers that consist of 3 first-year developers and a second-year developer. One issue we had was in the JavaScript where we linked it into HTML, yet it didn't work as coded, and to resolve this, we found a different solution to the code which fortunately worked. Another issue we found was in GitHub, where we had a situation where we couldn't push or pull any of our repositories, and we resolved it by receiving guidance from our teacher. Finally, we had difficulty in creating the questionnaire part of our project as we weren't very sure of our target audience until after attending the workshop. It was resolved after attending the first workshop as we received the information we needed. As for our thought process, it changed quite often throughout the time of this project. At the beginning of this hack, we believed that the resource directory proposal was catered towards the use of residents, so we thought of using a questionnaire. After attending the workshop, we learned that it was actually for the state workers. With a new client, we decided to keep the questionnaire idea, but tweak it in a way to fit the needs of the workers.
1 minute.
To create the Family Resource Directory, we use the languages HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For future developments, we would like to input all services and programs offered by the state or nonprofit agencies into the directory. We also want to provide residents access to the resource directory through either a website or a mobile app. This will allow them to easily find the programs they need for their family. The app will use a questionnaire for the residents to use to see which services they are eligible for. Lastly, we want to be language inclusive. Hawaii is super diverse. For many people, English is not their first language. By incorporating a setting that translates the app into different languages, more residents will have access to the directory and potentially find more programs. With that, on to our demonstration.
All right. Right as you open the website, you will have the directory questionnaire, the list of questions that will determine programs and services the residents are eligible for. At the top, there is a navigation bar that has the questionnaire and the state departments. Let's say that I'm a state worker and I need help with something. Simply, I must answer all these questions. So I'm in the area of City and County of Honolulu. I'm male. I don't have a child. I have health insurance. And let's say that I'm not employed and I need help with elderly assistant. After you finish all these questions, it will redirect you to a page where it shows programs and services on Oahu where they can help you and get more contact information. You can also click them and it will redirect you to their main page and get more contact information. We also added a State Department feature to see more contact info and you can read more about them and how they can help you. After and all that, does anyone have any questions?
Time. Pause. Okay, perfect. I'm starting the 1 minute clock. Give me a second here. Okay, judges, your questions, please.
Hi, this is Doug. How many services did you find that you were able to incorporate into your system?
We were able to input 7 programs and services between elderly assistance and childhood care.
Thank you.
What did you find to be the biggest challenge as you undertook this, this challenge?
It was finding the results on the different programs that can help you with your problems and your concerns. And yeah.
We had a
Okay,
difficult
time.
time coding.
I'm sorry, time.
All right, thank you, Hypertext. Up next for the high school category will be Blizzard for the COVID-19 chat box. Blizzard, you can now share your screen. All right, and begin when you're ready.
Please go into presentation mode so we can see the screen better.
Sorry.
And turn on your cameras, please. When you're presenting, please have your cameras on. Thank you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hi, we are Blizzard and our app is called Calvic COVID-19 Chatbot. I'm Ralph Ramos and my team members are Jeanette Ulandai, Bradford Mira, and Kalani Augustin. So the challenge we chose was COVID-19 Chatbot. The challenge is basically about creating a chatbot that's able to answer COVID-19 questions. We chose it because we wanted to help others learn about COVID-19 and try to create a chatbot for the first time. The problem is that people have a hard time finding information or answers for their questions about COVID-19, and there are many sites that say false information about COVID-19.
So our solution, Calvic, the COVID-19 chatbot, is a Python and TensorFlow-based AI chatbot, which uses deep learning algorithms to answer questions, and regardless of your punctuation or format of the question, Calvic will be able to interpret the meaning of your question. So languages that we used to create Calvic was HTML, CSS, Python, NumPy, and NLTK. So the difficulties that we had when creating Calvic was that the backend would not connect to the front end. So at the moment, Calvic only works in terminal. And we also had some issues in regards to the HTML formatting and creating a GUI for him. So in the future, we would create or we would link the front end of Calvic to the back end, so that way it can be a completely functional product or a complete one. And then we would also improve the questions and responses that Calvic would have, and also include a voice-to-text feature to make it more convenient to use.
And onto the demo. So as Jeanette said, we currently don't have a front end for Calvic, but the back end and all functionality will works for Calvic, and it is ready to have a front end set up. So currently, Calvic only works in a terminal. But so once you have all the prerequisites and setup installed, you can start Calvic by just typing in one command, which I've already done here. So once you're started and you see this prompt, you can greet Calvic if you want, saying something like hi. And he said, sorry. He said hi back. So because Calvic uses TensorFlow to detect input instead of having a detect or an exact input detection, you can type in whatever formatting or punctuation you want, and Calvic will identify what your intent
You're demonstrating. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It can decipher, it can decipher what it means behind the intent, no matter the formatting. For example, I can say, "What's up?" and it'll detect that I am greeting Calvic. So you can continue the small talk with Calvic, but of course, Calvic is meant as a COVID chatbot. So you should be asking them COVID-related questions like, where did it originate? and Calvic will respond with the information available about the origins of COVID. Or you can ask, how do I know if I have it? And Calvic will tell you about the symptoms, what you should be looking out for, and the steps you should be taking if you get diagnosed. Now, once you're done talking to Calvic, you can type in stop to stop the chat. And that is the demo.
Time, we're moving on to question and answers. I'm gonna ask for a pause here. I'm sorry, judges, please ask your questions. Something went wrong with one of the spreadsheets, so scores aren't getting calculated. So why don't we take that 1 minute to do the calculations, and then I have to work with the judges to get the spreadsheet fixed. Otherwise the scores aren't gonna be accurate. Let's do the 1 minute first, and then we'll take a brief pause while I get the spreadsheet fixed. Please, questions, judges?
Hi, this is Doug. Why did you choose this particular technology for your chatbot?
So Python and TensorFlow. Python would be an ideal language for machine learning because it really simplifies it, and it has a lot more functionality than, for example, JavaScript TensorFlow would have. So it's more time efficient, and it's also much more accurate in terms of detection.
Thank you.
This is Christine. I just wanted to thank the first two teams kind of out of the gates working with the technology. You're doing a great job. And we really appreciate your efforts with this. So thank you.
Thank you, Blizzard, for your presentation. Up next, we have DFE for Hawaii State IT Visualization. You can go ahead and share your screen. Unmute your mic and begin when you're ready.
Good morning. We are the members of the Mililani High School Coding Club. Today we present to you our project, Defining Future Expectations, or DFE for short. DFE's mission: effectively display the current status of the state IT portfolio for potential investors and the public at large by creating a platform to view complex data through a simple, multifaceted interface. Our team's approach was to focus on the implementation of live data, a dynamic display, and presentation of key information that is easily understood. In conjunction with graphs and efficient navigation that simplify these complex elements, our site provides a streamlined, intuitive user experience. Work division. Once we essentialized the needs of the client via Slack, we constructed an outline of our end product. Our team then split up into the groups listed here. Through Discord, we could scale synchronous remote communication from smaller group work sessions to fulfill team meetings with ease. Google Drive facilitated online organized collaboration on design and planning. For our design approach, we looked at the essentialized needs and adapted the following technologies to satisfy the requirements utilizing the top-down theory. We worked down from the general idea, implementing targeted features as we progressed. For the API, we utilized the CCAN data API provided by the state to pull live data from the state's database and pass it into Python daily. From there, we were able to format and parse the data to fit our needs. For HTML, CSS Bootstrap allowed us to build a fast, functional, and aesthetically pleasing site, making implementation, creation, and adjustments easier for both desktop and mobile users. For MongoDB, we chose to utilize MongoDB mainly because of the wide variety of graph types that could be generated when it was passed data. Additionally, MongoDB has a higher reading speed than other databases and can automatically standardize inconsistently formatted data. For Python and Django gives us a robust backbone, allowing the ETS to scale as needed, and host an assignment of libraries. We use Python to format, manipulate, and pass data to our database. Python was used because it's a high-order programming language with strength and rapid development. JavaScript's D3 library provides insightful data representation by dendrogram. These graphs assist in visualization of the structure of related projects and applications, JavaScript was also applied in our search system.
She's doing it wrong.
For sustainability, we tried to make our system easy to implement by utilizing live data that is automatically updated through our solution, making the program scalable to be used on all devices, and using an open source database. As for the impact, by creating intuitive navigation features, insightful visualizations, and comprehensive metrics for potential investors and the public at large, and having transparency with the public, we hope to create a new website that can improvise, adapt, and overcome any challenges that it faces.
I will now be demoing our solution, and here on our homepage, we have graphs that showcase live data about project risk and business value. If you go to the departments link on the top, you get taken to a new view that shows you the relationships between departments, sub-departments, and you can see more down here. If I open the accounting division sub-department, I get taken to a new view with drop-downs that showcase information about the application and the projects within them. In the projects view, you get product-specific information as well as a dendrogram that shows relationships between the projects and the applications. On any page, you can utilize the search feature to search for any department, application, or project. And here I'll be looking for the statewide financial modernization project. Lastly, we have a help form that, although visually looks ready, is still in development and has been postponed based off of the request of our sponsors. We're ready for Q&A.
Okay, moving on to the 1 minute Q&A and begin. Judges?
What was the most difficult part of your project?
The most difficult part of our project was making sure that we could take the data live from the state API and format it into a way that we could work with. There were some inconsistencies in the way that the data was formatted, such as extra enters or extra spaces and slashes. So we had to make sure we worked around that, or else our solution wouldn't be able to display the data how we wanted it to.
Thank you.
Do you have any, does the team have any suggestions about how the state could organize their data in a better way that would make it more accessible?
As the purpose of our thing was to show the impact of incomplete portfolios, making sure that people fill out the portfolio to the fullest. And as for the formatting, we were able to create make sure our solution wasn't so rigid that it couldn't handle this. Just making sure to fill out all the information would improve the performance and the overall experience of our site.
And that's time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, DFE. Up next in our last team for the high schools category will be for Hawaii State IT visualization. Team members from you can share your screen. Again, when you're ready.
Sorry, okay. Hello everyone, my name is Harvey. My teammates are Reynald, Andrew, and Ricky. We are team and we chose the proposal ETS IT Portfolio and Roadmap Visualizations Challenge.
The issue presented is that there is no public view of the IT portfolio. Our solution to the proposal makes the IT portfolio easy to navigate for public usage. It showcases creative and insightful visualizations on the given information. This makes the IT portfolio more user-friendly towards the general public. One problem we faced was planning everything virtually. We had difficulty with stuff like working out when to meet online and what to discuss. To fix this problem, we created a Discord channel to easily communicate and share information with one another. Now, let's move on to the demo.
Okay, so this is our homepage, and using the buttons, you can navigate through the applications, projects, and so on. So inside our departments and agencies tab, it shows a list of them. For example, for the first one, it lists all the agencies under the Accounting and General Services department. Moving on to applications, we're given a list, and if we click on one of them, like the Meltwater social media monitoring app, It provides you with information about its hosting model, functional fit, etc. Inside our projects, which is similar to applications, we have a list, and by clicking on one of them, it shows you the information like the cancellation dates. And there's also a raw data tab that conveys all of the project information. Lastly is our visualizations tab, which makes it easier for users to visualize the specific information regarding the topics, like the risk value, risk status. And for more information about the ETS, you can click on the logo on our homepage.
Okay, you ready for questions?
We coded this using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The softwares we used were Sublime Text, our coding platform, and GitHub to share and update our code. Stretch goals. One main stretch goal we surely wanted was a search bar or search filter to make finding items in the website a lot easier. Another goal we think we could have done is an easier way to move back to the different categories after entering a category already. Another stretch goal was more visualizations, and for the project tab, the plan is to make it so that the latest data from the CSV files will be uploaded to update the site. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. This is Christine. How do you envision the dashboard being updated on an ongoing basis as projects mature through their life cycles?
So to update the data is what you're saying, right, for the website? Right now, our website is not connected to a database, and that's what we want to implement in the future. So when changes are made, they can just pull from there and it'll update our website quickly. So, but as of right now, it is a stretch goal, and we plan to implement that in the future.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, and great job to all the high school teams. Now we'll begin on the specific open category for the different categories or different teams. So we'll start with the Hawaii State Archives gamification of crowdsourcing index. And these solutions aim to increase community interest in conducting remote transcription of historic records. Gamifying the index process, which will provide incentive and fun through virtual milestones and awards to volunteers, encouraging them to produce more index products. Up first, Bite Crib. So Bite Crib, get ready, share your screen, and you may begin when you're ready.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Most people aren't obsessed with history like they are for sports. It can be difficult to get people to put in their time and effort into doing voluntary works like indexing public historical records. But the more people we can get, the more we can learn about our history and help connect members of our communities to their past. So wouldn't it be cool to know that someone in the community was able to find and learn about where they came from, who their ancestors were, and other parts of their history because of work you've contributed? We are Bite Crib, and this is our HACC 2020 Challenge solution for the Hawaii State Archive. Project Clio is a web application focused on scalability, professionalism for the state archivists using it, and an efficient platform that is also fun and rewarding for the volunteers. Our architecture and approach to this solution focuses on increasing the workflow efficiency from the state archive to the volunteers, and also implements a bounty system for each job per record. Our front end is implemented using React, using a top-down design, and our back end uses a Spring, which is programmed in Java, and our database and all of the data entities are modeled with the object-oriented design, and all of our functions are built with a bottom-up design approach.
Because our web application is built using modern frameworks, it is both reliable and easy to maintain and upgrade. The database itself is self-hosted and scalable with Docker. There's no proprietary software, so there's no license involved in production. So the way they used to archive in the past was using a combination of PDF and Google Excel sheet, where they constantly switch between the two. This is error prone because users can easily get the wrong PDF or edit the wrong column on the Excel sheet. Our solution is to provide that by loading each record with respective field separately. And although it has not been fully integrated, our fields can also detect regular expression to provide text validation, such as only specific fields can only have numbers or certain strings. On the admin side, once records get approved, meaning a second pair of eyes has double-checked the fields entered, it is saved to our database and can be exported as a CSV file, which is seen on the next slide. So before, everyone was only assigned a subset of record. Now an admin can basically upload everything and users can work on what they want, so it's way more flexible. And admins won't be stuck on waiting for a specific subset to finish. Additionally, admins can increase the amount of points gained per records if they want to finish like a specific job quickly. So we incentivize it through a leaderboard system that goes by daily, monthly, and all time. And we also have a badge system, which is based off on the points they get. So our team for front end, it was Arslan and me. Back end, it was Goom, Ken, and Trey. And we talked with Dr. Jensen to provide mockups on our site and implement additional feature requests, such as exporting a CSV file.
Please move on to the demonstration.
So there are different roles the user can take on when using the site. Upon registration, they are required to go through a small tutorial, after which they have the ability to choose which jobs they work on. Users obtain badges, points for each transcription, and a place on the leaderboard, which is the gaming aspect of this project. On the admin side, the archivists have certain privileges to move their projects along. To easily create a job, which is a set of scanned PDF images that needs to be transcribed, admins can choose an XML file along with a selection of PDFs. And after a user finishes recording data from a job, the admins can review this entry and accept it. After all the PDFs have been transcribed, the admins can export this data in a CSV file. And this concludes our presentation. We're open to questions. Thank you.
One moment while I set the timer. And judges, ask your questions.
Can I stop sharing?
I would leave it up in case they have a question you want to show them on the screen.
Sure thing.
What were some of the biggest revelations that you had while working on this project?
So one of the main things we used was the flexibility. Most of the modern application uses NoSQL, so there's no structure in their data initially, but we try to use PostgreSQL, which is what was recommended in the specification, and we found out that it was not as flexible as we wanted it to be. So we had to find a way around creating that flexibility on a structure that didn't initially have it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Byte Crib, for your presentation.
Yes, thank you. And up next, we have Gaming the Archives. You may now share your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're ready.
Hello. Imagine you have a half hour before a socially distanced dinner with a friend. How would you spend that time? Would you sit down at a computer, open a giant spreadsheet, pick a row, find the document that matches that row, and type words from the document into the spreadsheet? Sound like fun? Probably not, but that's how volunteers who care about historical records are currently indexing documents for the Hawaii State Archives. Tens of millions of these records need to be indexed and made searchable for the public. The records are important because without them, people cannot prove their ancestry or titles to property. This can impact families for generations. Because so many of these documents are unindexed, a person needing information must leaf through countless documents to find what they need, not knowing if the document even exists. Research could take months, but digitally indexing the records could produce search results in seconds. That's why the Hawaii State Archives created this HACC challenge. Before I get to our solution, I'd like to tell you about our team and how we work together for this project. We are a group of individuals with diverse backgrounds, some of us professional coders, others hobbyists or students. We contributed through our strengths, with Chris working on the transcription page, Paul building the backend, Ray developing the front end, Dominic providing design, and me helping with marketing. Please follow along in our demonstration and support our team in the competition. For our solution, we came up with a single-page app that meets the challenge requirements by using open source software, being accessible online, having the ability to match an image with an index entry, and providing an interface for archivists to upload new collections. Overall, the app makes indexing easier for its two user groups, the archivists who maintain the records and the volunteers who transcribe them. Our app enables staff at the Hawaii State Archives and other agencies to quickly create new projects that will dynamically collect and validate data. These archivists can then track progress and coordinate with volunteers on the site in real time. Our app is built on popular cloud technology with widespread community support. The app makes archive transcription fun instead of tedious, and volunteer coordination easy. Transcribed text data is linked with source images and saved to a database where it will be searchable by the public. Future plans are to allow double checking of transcriptions to prevent the input of bad data and to improve the gaming aspect by awarding points for transcriptions. We would also like to add badges to generate warm fuzzies for users' hard work. Because the app is so easy to use, the State Archives can increase the number of transcriptions by finding more volunteers through crowdsourcing. With this app, the volunteers can dump their error-prone spreadsheets and enjoy their hobby of documenting Hawaii's history in their free time. Thank you for listening, and here is our demonstration video.
Welcome to HighScribe.app. Whether you are a volunteer or an archivist, the first step is to sign up. Currently, we support login with Facebook, but soon we will support other major identity providers. As soon as you are logged in, you can start transcribing. Let's open the first active project. Once in the document viewer, you see a list of fields to be transcribed. You can transcribe the fields simply by dragging and dropping the field selector, and the text will automatically be transcribed using machine learning. Some fields may need to be transcribed by hand. You can also zoom in and pan around hard-to-read documents. You can see your recent activity in the activity feed. In the future, leaderboards will also track users' performance to provide incentives and recognize the most prolific volunteers. HighScribe.app allows archivists to quickly set up new projects by uploading project definition files, customizing field lists, and uploading images. Once a project has been created, the archivist can modify it and publish it to the site.
That's time.
Judges.
Oh, sorry, you're done.
Any questions?
Questions, judges?
Hi, this is Doug. How did you imagine that you would gamify this?
So what we'll do is have points for whenever a user transcribes a record, and some of records have multiple data fields that need to be inputted, like a first name, last name, age, and each field that they fill out can be a point. And so basically the user will appear in a leaderboard that shows who has the most points so far for transcribing records.
As well as displaying badges as the user is transcribing for reaching specific milestones or doing a whole bunch of transcriptions in a single category.
Okay, that's time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to the team gaming the archives. Up next, First Lady Dawn Ige presented the Hawaii State Resource Directory Challenge. She asked participants to come up with a repository app that will incorporate programs and services from statewide government agencies and nonprofit agencies in a user-friendly one-stop shop directory, making it easier for those needing support services and referrals. For this challenge, we have HACC Giving. So HACC Giving, get ready, share your screen, and you may begin when ready.
Okay. Hello, we present to you Helping Hands. The application is developed to enable users to find and obtain available assistive programs or resources they need. Related results can be swiftly obtained through a few keywords that pertain to the assistance needed. Recommended searches can be selected for even quicker results. If the user decides or desires, a list of other resources is available. Additionally, state employees can log in to access the stats. All available resources and services are summarized in cards. Each card neatly summarizes the purpose of the resource. That way, the user does not have to go to the link immediately and search around to determine if the resource applies to them. These cards can be found using the search bar that we implemented. The upward stacking list of results is easy to go through and will quickly direct the user to the card or cards that apply to them. This makes the user's search for available resources quick and efficient, without the hassle of searching through various pages of information.
Okay, for our app, we used React Native and Firebase. React Native is one of the most popular mobile app frameworks, and it uses React and JavaScript, which has a lot of documentations that can be found online. This means that in the long run, others could work on it too, as they can find numerous resources out there. It also allows the use of third-party libraries for flexibility. Some of these libraries are React Navigation and React Native Elements. For Firebase, it's a backend platform that has numerous services such as authentication and cloud database. As for design, it includes the use of simple components such as input bars, cards, and search bar from React Native Elements. And as for navigation, we use stack navigation up to
1 minute.
authentication screen, and then stack navigation once we're at the main screen.
Although our app may seem rather complex, it is quite user-friendly, mainly due to the taskbar available at the bottom of the app at all times. It allows for easy navigation throughout the main pages of the app, where the home page holds recommended and pinned searches. The new search page allows the user to search for relevant services. The All Services page lists all currently available services on the app, and for admin users, they have the ability to view the stats page, which will provide information such as links clicked. Also, each service has an individual card which provides a summary of the service, which reduces wasted time clicking through various individual links and realizing it's not the service for you. The taskbar, search functionality, and unique service card allows for user-friendliness and attempts to provide detailed services to our users in a quick and easy fashion. Now we will play a quick demo of Helping Hands.
Welcome to Helping Hands. We have our first screen once you first download the app here. Get started. Are you a state employee is what it asks. Most people will say no. However, I will say yes this time and log in with one of our admin accounts and our super secret password there. All right, as you can see, there's 4 different tabs here at the bottom. Typically, the users will see just the first 3 here, and this 4th one is just for the admin. There's Home, New Search, and All Services, and this is just the display of all of the different programs we have on this app right now. These searches here are quick links you can go to, and it just goes to our search page with a preset search there. You can click one of these searches, go to that service there, and you'll see that you go right to that service.
Time.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Questions? Go ahead.
I'm assuming it's a perfect app then.
So any questions from the judges? Sometimes it takes a minute to unmute their mics. So give them a second here. I'm not rushing you off the stage. There we go.
How many services were you able to incorporate?
We have like 15 or so in the app right now. We're able to get them in there pretty quick with Firestore though. It's just like a quick, you just look up what it is and then type it in. It takes like 2 seconds.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, HACC.
Thanks.
All right, up next, we have one of the University of Hawaii challenges, which was visualizing campus occupancy during and after COVID-19. This challenge asked participants to create a means to visualize campus occupancy to identify patterns of behavior around uses and density of spaces throughout campus. One of the goals was to improve future scheduling and the use of campus resources to both prevent the spread of COVID-19 and increase efficiency of campus operations. The team taking on this challenge is the Kauai Technology Group. Get ready, share your presentation, unmute your mics, and you may begin when ready.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is James Theskin, and I'm with the Kauai Technology Group. Today, I'll be presenting Visualizer, which is a tool to understand trends in community occupancy. Many of us have been uncomfortable on crowded sidewalks, stuck in Honolulu traffic, or had to navigate a sea of visitors at the beach. Oftentimes, we might curse urban planners for mismanaged traffic light timing, or wonder why we chose to go at such a crowded time. COVID-19 has brought new challenges to this. So whether it's managing a campus or a city like Honolulu, policymakers need better tools to inform their decisions towards resource management. We help campus planners make better decisions for resource management by measuring how many people are connected to each Wi-Fi access point on campus. To do so, we built our tool using containerization to maintain portability and flexibility in its deployment. We also use modern web technologies to help with visualization features and a SQL database, which is a familiar technology in the state. Initially, the application is aimed to serve campus officials or those needing to work around social distancing. The tool could be scaled further to serve students and faculty, as planning their day could be made a lot easier knowing when certain areas are crowded. Lastly, the state and county could use a similar tool to understand visitor movement throughout the island, which is especially important when we're looking to revitalize our economy. The immediate impact of this tool is avoiding super spreader events. Moving forward, the tool is envisioned to manage on-campus services to better utilize resources. For example, the Rainbow Shuttle or scheduling the bus stops on campus. So my team is made up of myself, and I'm a mechanical engineer who loves software. So I'm a systems engineer by trade. And I'd like to thank Garrett for all of his help in answering questions regarding the data set. And he provided an example of the current UH wireless map that's being used by ITS. And so now I'd like to move on to my demonstration. So the user interface uses a map, and on the map, we pull data from our SQL database representing the amount of people connected to each Wi-Fi access point throughout the campus. So for example, at 4:00 p.m. on a weekday, you might imagine that the Warrior Rec Center is at its peak of being crowded on campus. And we can see that the circle is much larger than the other ones on campus. We can also view the raw data as it's tabulated automatically in the table on the right-hand corner. We have a slider which can enable the user to navigate through different timestamps in the data. And we can view different portions of the campus that are more busy. On the left-hand side, we can also visualize just how periodic the data is for how people visit these certain buildings. So for example, the Warrior Recreational Center, we can narrow down to each device ID. And I can choose a different portion of the gym and see that, okay, at 3:00 p.m. every day, there seems to be a spike in visitors, and we can see the raw amount. So this really helps understand those trends.
That's time. Start questions and answers now. Go ahead, team. Judges.
You know, if I needed to get to a specific location on campus, would the app be able to tell me when would be better times to go or less busy?
I think that would be the next step. So right now, one of the biggest, I think, benefits of this graph is that we can see how easy the data might be to place statistical models on it. We see how periodic these are. So I think building a scheduling functionality behind that would be a great next step.
This is Christine. What's the biggest takeaway for you from this experience?
I think that managing how people move throughout the island is really important moving forward. And I'm really excited to see something similar, especially as we look to preserve the island's resources when the tourists are not here right now. I think it's a great opportunity.
Thank you.
It's time, James. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, James, from Kauai Technology Group. The next category is the University of Hawaii, ITS Building Security and Guest Access Management. We have 4 teams in this category. The goal of this challenge is to explore the application designs that can improve security for UH buildings with lower personnel costs. The first team is CSCI 3911-2. Get ready. You can share your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're all set.
Share computer sound. I've got my AC on. Can you guys hear it in the background?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Oops. Okay. So I want you to put yourselves into the shoes of an employee who has to use a spreadsheet.
Colin?
Yeah.
We'll see your notes in the next slide, and you can barely see your screen. So I would suggest taking it out of that mode, or no one's going to be able to see what you're presenting.
That was weird. That's what I tested yesterday. All right. Hope my memory's good.
You can share your screen again. There's an option to switch the presenter view. You just need to switch it.
Yeah, that's what I had it on. When I did that.
So when it first started sharing, it was on the presentation, and then it switched over to the presenter view.
Yeah, because I switched. But now
it's on the presenter view. So display settings and then swap.
All right. So I'll go off memory. Your computer's on. Alrighty.
You ready?
Give this a shot. All right. So I want you to put yourselves into the shoes of an employee who has to use a spreadsheet like this in order to schedule a meeting. Think about how tedious and time-consuming it would be to find the exact row necessary in order to enter the meeting into the correct time slot. Or what about a receptionist with 3 days on the job, checking in a very important but very late and very angry businessman? How would that kind of pressure affect you while you're trying to search through a giant cluttered spreadsheet? Obviously, nobody wants to be put in either situation. Luckily, my team and I have come up with a solution that we are calling Checker. Checker is a quick, clean, and simple web application to coordinate guest registration between a sponsoring employee and the front desk. But how does this application improve upon the current system? Well, our approach is based around 3 minimizations. First, minimizing the amount of actions necessary to complete a task. 2, minimizing the amount of searching necessary to find what you are looking for. And number 3, minimizing noise to prevent confusion caused by unnecessary information. And on that last point, while the current spreadsheet scheme can include information that is pertinent to a meeting, much of it is either unnecessary for guest registration or can be done automatically by a computer, such as check-in and checkout times. What Checker does is it removes the need for the user to enter this extra information by either removing it or automating it. What this does is it not only saves the user time and energy, but it also retains, if not improves, the integrity of information by, once again, having a computer do it for you. Now, we're not going to argue that Checker has the most unique implementation. Due to its solid foundation around the very popular open source Django administration template, it means that the amount of extra training and documentation necessary for IT departments is decreased, while the usefulness of other online resources is increased. In addition, the couple scripts that our team has created makes it so that the initial website initialization takes mere minutes. And there you have it. Thanks to Miguel's motivational God damn. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
I'll pause you, reshare your screen.
I don't have the option to share the screen on.
Hang on a minute. Sheila, if you can hear me, please reinstate Colin as a co-host. Oh, he is a co-host.
Yeah, no, I can share my screen, but I can't share my PowerPoint screen. Here, I'll just share my whole one. If it lets me.
Fortunately, you were almost done with your PowerPoint, so.
Yeah. All right. Take 3. So there you have it. Thanks to Miguel's motivational personality, Johan's creativity, Isaac's hackerman level skills, and my general ability to look like I'm helping while not actually doing all that much, we can present to you Checker, bureaucracy made simple. Now, next is a technical demonstration of our application, but due to time constraints, this will only show off the interaction between the front desk and the sponsor, and we'll leave out all the other administrative stuff that this application can do.
What you see in front of you is the main view that the front desk user and the sponsor user will have. If the sponsor wishes to create a new meeting, they go up to the top right corner and press Add Meeting. Here, they are able to add a guest to the meeting. They are able to set the location of the meeting. They're able to add a note for the front desk if necessary, and then they can set the time and date of the meeting. Then, when it is time for the front desks to sign a guest in, they can either search by the guest's name, the time of the meeting, or the employee that created the meeting. When they find the guest they are looking for, they press the guest's name, they can add a badge ID, and then they can check the guest in. When it is time to check the guest out, they do the same process, and then they just simply uncheck the check mark and then save. Now the guest is checked out while still retaining the badge ID for auditing purposes.
That's time, please. Moving on to question and answers. One moment while I start the clock. Okay, judges, ready for your questions.
Hey, this is Doug. Were you able to incorporate existing meeting spaces into your application?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Were you able to incorporate existing meeting locations?
How do you mean meeting locations?
Like conference rooms or?
This wasn't built with like a database of meeting rooms that exists within the ITS building. You're just able to set the sponsor inputs the name of the meeting room that they will be using for the meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Then thank you very much.
All right, thank you, CSCI 3911-2. Up next, we have Game the System. You may now share your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're ready.
And to the judges, please remember this team is marked in green on your list, higher up on your score sheet, okay?
Okay, starting now. Aloha, I'm Matt, and this is David and Spencer, and we are part of Game the System, which tackles the issue of ITS building security. The problem: secured spaces at UH need a better alternative for guest access management, especially the ITS building. Easier yet more secure methods will help to protect essential services. Current access control methods include Google spreadsheets and an endless amount of manual tracking. A security system for secure IT. Our application provides an intuitive way to automate guest access management at the push of a button. As a bonus, we also use pre-trained artificial intelligence to detect potential tailgating intruders via existing security camera footage. To prevent people from gaming the system, we created Game the System. Our web application allows an employee to schedule an appointment and automatically send an email carrying a one-time magic link to their visitor. From a visitor perspective, the mobile-friendly web application can be accessed via your phone's browser. You simply press the magic link in your email, scan the QR code at the front desk, and enjoy your visit with your visitor's badge. Like a pioneer in music and technology once said, it's as easy as do, re, mi, ABC, 1, 2, 3, baby you and me, Michael Jackson.
We intend for our application to be accessible by any university faculty or visitor. This is why we designed it to be web-based, so it can be used on any desktop or mobile device. We use modern front-end frameworks, including React and Tailwind CSS, to create a clean and attractive user interface that is intuitive, simple, and easy to use. For the backend, we use Laravel. We also used modern techniques such as magic links and QR codes, which offer both improved security and convenience over traditional password-based methods. Our application also made use of Amazon Web Services, TensorFlow for AI, and many more cutting-edge tools to enhance the overall user experience while still providing an effective solution. Employees have access to a visitor log to verify individuals in the building. We also kept the visitor experience in mind as well, especially one-time visitors. This is why we opted for a mobile-friendly web application, which eliminates the need for any inconvenient downloads or account setup. We reached out to Michael Hodges early on in the challenge to get feedback on our ideas. Doing so allowed us to form a clear and concise solution to address the problem. And here's our team of developers that have worked day and night on this project. Together, we contribute our diverse skill sets to tackle the many aspects of this application.
Cool. And here's our solution demo.
Welcome to Game the System's web application review. We created a web application designed to be user-friendly and simple to provide safety to those in the system or in the building. When you first log onto the site, you are met with a homepage where you can navigate to several different options. IT employees can schedule appointments for their guests, where an email will be sent to that guest. From there, guests or employees can log onto the site using their email address. A magic link will be sent to the email where they will have access to the site, no tricks needed. On the guest version of the site, they will have the ability to view their appointments and display their personalized QR code to scan at the front desk to check in and enter the building. On the receptionist's end, they will be able to view all the upcoming appointments and scan the QR code. All the information is automatically recorded into an AWS MySQL database. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you check in.
Okay, judges, time for questions.
This is Christine. Thank you for that. What are some of the lessons learned from your group working through this challenge together?
So we learned that building security is essential, especially at the ITS building, and incorporating technology to manage it is essential to both increase accountability while also decreasing the resources required.
Thank you.
Doug, did you have a question? I saw your mic go off.
No, thank you.
All right, that's time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Game the System. Try Geeks, you're up next. You may share your screen. All right, begin when you're ready.
Aloha everyone, we are Team TryGeeks. We are refining the current building management system for the school faculties and students by making a user-friendly mobile app to increase security and efficiency.
In order to provide convenience to our user, we designed to give invitation QR code for each guest and automatically check time conflict for each event before it's created. And for security, our app records all badges with guest ID in the system. We built this app on iOS platform by using Swift. The basic process of our app is, first, the sponsor creates a new event and send email with QR code to guests. And we store this data with Firebase. Next, guests bring this QR code to a reception and check-in with it. Reception staff can also use the event list or search function to make check-in. And our system will record the visitor with the assigned badge ID. After the event finished, reception should recycle badges as a checkout.
Each shell is much more safe and convenient than using spreadsheet. Building security and management is a massive and complicated task, but we can optimize the workflow to simplify the security problem. This app can improve the interoperability between each department so that they can maintain the building security together in some very easy step. We have a real-time database to record data. It is so much easier to manage and modify information and keep it privately. Handling building security and the event management by using a simple app will be very convenient because it does not increase any cost, but it brings convenience and more security for our customers. For sponsors, your show can help them to manage the event quickly. Sponsors do not need to manually go over the spreadsheet to check their room availability because your show has a time conflict interception functionality to prevent it. For receptions, all they need to do for check-in is just scanning the QR code. Your show is designed for our customers to solving building management problems, but it also has a lot of potential to be developed and bring more benefits to our customers.
We carefully read the challenge requirements, listen to the presentation, and ask questions for more details. After that, I made a flowchart for the following development. Ron is in charge of the art design, and Tianhui added many useful functionalities. We have a small team to improve our efficiency and availability when we are making decisions and developing our product. As a team captain, I'm proud of my team because every team member is actively involved and equally contributed to the final deliverable. Without further ado, let's look at our solution demo.
Okay, judges.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judges, ready for you for questions.
This is Christine. Thank you. Was there any significant data sets that you thought that you didn't have access to that you thought would make a more holistic product?
Yeah, I think if we can have the previous meeting data, something like the important rooms that we are going to use, that can be very helpful for us to develop a better app.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any
you
questions?
know, if how easy would it have been to be able to cover more than just one building? I know it was just focused on IT.
Yeah, our app is designed for many buildings, not only the IT center. If we keep developing, we can use this for other building security staff, and we can also use this as an event registration system for Hawaii government. Yeah.
And that's time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team TriGeeks. The last team presenting for the UH Building Security is UH Security. You may share your screen and begin when you're ready.
So is somebody, if they're talking, we can't hear you. So you need to go back. I haven't started your clock yet. We can't hear you. So you need to go back and you need to get off of mute, please, whoever this is trying to present.
Thank you very much.
Okay, shall we start again? You ready?
I am ready, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Governor. Good morning, Governor, judges, HACC participants, and attendees. We are Team UH Security, and we are attempting the University of Hawaii Building Security and Access Management Challenge. The challenge was to design an application to improve security for University of Hawaii buildings and reduce personnel costs. The application requirements were to allow the staff to invite guests to participate in meetings in secured facilities, allow facility reception staff to confirm the guest's sponsorship, their authorization, help visitors connect with staff, enable facility occupants to recognize when a guest is authorized, and enable facility staff to identify when a guest is in an unauthorized location, and to do all this in a secure manner as possible. Our solution uses industry standard software and configurations, including Red Hat, Apache, MySQL, PHP, HTML, and JavaScript. The development environment is modeled on the environment that is in production at the University of Hawaii, meaning we can use the existing servers and support agreements already in place. Secure design was designed in a secure fashion from the beginning. It requires logins and an account, and it supports role-based access control. And the look and feel is the actual cascading style sheets designed from the University of Hawaii ITS website. It's based on a standard Linux build. All the code is portable. There are no proprietary frameworks or components. It's designed to Apache standards, which is the most popular web server software, and can easily be placed behind a load balancer to enhance performance and survivability. It can easily be virtualized or run on cold iron. It can be placed either in a local or a cloud-based data center. The app will improve UH facility security, which in the current political climate makes security an imperative, reduces personnel costs and risks to personnel and property within the facilities, and it affords audit logging capability, visit reports, badge inventory reports, and sponsorship reports.
1 minute.
All right, these are all of our team members and our picture, and moving on to our solution demo. This is our login page. As I said before, it uses the complete CSS set from the existing University of Hawaii ITS services webpage. We have links for visitor administration and for the reception desk. For visitors, there is this form where you can submit a visitor. You can update a visit request that previously exists within the system. Here we have several loaded for loaded for testing, and you can also delete a visit. And then focusing on the reception desk functionality for the reception desk, when someone comes to check in, you can check their last name, and we check for Mr. Clinton. We view the results and we see George Clinton has a meeting at 8:30 on the 21st, and we can check them in. Clicking on that, we can give him badge number 88, and his check-in time will be 11:39. And we click submit, and it issues a badge to Mr. Clinton. So that is the demonstration of our program. With more development time, we can certainly integrate mail relay to send notifications when visits have been put in, and create a detailed report screen that would show reports based on visitors, when they checked in, when they checked out, and the status of all the badges. Thank you very much for your time, and we're standing by for any questions.
Okay, judges, ready for questions?
Thank you. This is Christine. I thought I saw you had a large team. How did your team coordinate the activities through the code challenge?
Well, in the age of COVID-19, I think we've all become quite expert at using, the various video sharing and video conferencing applications. So many of us are students at Hawaii Pacific University, and through attending virtual classes, we've done a lot of group projects where we have individual breakout rooms. So we just had meetings and kept a firm grip on who was doing what, and made sure that we kept reporting back to our progress as we had.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then that is time. Moving on.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, UH Security, and that concludes the ITS Building Security section. Up next, we have the category from NIC Hawaii, which presented the challenge for COVID-19 chatbot. This challenge asked participants to effectively design and deliver a chatbot which can help us all by quickly sharing up-to-date information and encouraging the desired healthy behaviors. The first team presenting their solution is HPU CSCI 3991, Group 1. You may start sharing your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're ready.
All right, good morning, everyone. This presentation is a showcase of our COVID-19 chatbot from HPU CSCI 3911 Group 1. We're trying to solve the challenge NIC Hawaii provided to this year's challenge. Our chatbot has been effectively designed, and our deliverables are user-friendly, easy to use, and friendly for people with vision disabilities. So now you're going to learn more about our chatbot, also known as Chester.
All right, so what is our unique approach? We wanted to provide a user-friendly and stress-free chatbot that is created to provide up-to-date COVID-19 information that users can acquire quickly and at any time. So for our design and approach, we wanted a smooth and easy access approach that is reliable and available to anyone. So for the design approach, we use Vue.js for the front-end design, which has a JavaScript framework and uses HTML and Sass for styling. Node.js was also used, it also uses a JavaScript, which was used for the backend design. And we also use Dialogflow to implement information from the websites given and to train our bot.
As the world learns more about COVID-19, our chatbot's going to learn too. This is because it pulls information directly from official services that are being updated. The bot's currently geared toward the state of Hawaii, but with a few small changes, it could provide information to any locale in whatever language we choose. And we're hoping that the information that the chatbot provides could potentially save lives and even promote a safe and healthy environment.
So what are some ways that we can
Anthony, you're freezing up. Does somebody else want to take over for him?
And
Anthony,
impact
you're not
working.
working.
So huh?
You're not working. You're freezing.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, but not very well.
Hello?
I can take over. So for the utility and impact, basically we wanted to share knowledge to people that need to know about COVID information, and we wanted to provide accessibility for anyone. So people with vision and hearing disabilities, we have certain options that it can read to us.
1 minute.
So we also want to be able to have it accessible through web and mobile, and it is a 24/7 access free. It also uses natural language understanding. So as you talk to it, it becomes more trained.
Our team consists of composition of workflows you can really figure out our presentation. So for the jobs that we assign to each other consists of Anthony and CK is the dialogue flow group. Brad is the integrated dialogue flow chatbot, the working application, and Chloe as the video photographer, assisting dialogue flow, training, and fixing Q&As for the chatbot. The way we work with the subject matter experts, which are our challenge sponsor, is went to their meetings and then search up example chatbot programs that we can work upon.
To demo, please.
How may I help you today?
So Chester can provide you with a range up-to-date answers and questions, from basic questions to detailed questions. All our answers are extracted from the 2 websites that NIC Hawaii asks in the requirements. It is also great to ask comparison questions to Chester, as he can explain to you the differences and similarities. Chester also recognizes the importance of mental health and personal hygiene during the COVID-19 pandemic. So if you ask similar questions like, should I wash my hands or should I wear a mask? Chester can also answer those questions to you.
And that's it for our presentation. Any questions?
You know, you had mentioned that the program educates itself. Can you just talk a little bit about how that happens as new information is provided?
We extracted, oh, sorry, is there anyone phone? We extracted our data and answered questions from the 2 websites that were required by NIC Hawaii. So whenever they change their information, our program is dynamic and will change as the website changes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Christine. Do you have any recommendations to make the chatbot more robust than it is right now?
I'm sorry, robust, like which way do you mean by that?
It's just ability to answer any kind of question that's sort of thrown at it.
The more that we train the bot, the better it will be equipped to give a natural response.
Thank you.
And that's time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, HPU CSCI 3911 Group 1. Up next, we have imposters. You may share your screen, unmute mics, and begin when you're ready.
All right. We are Team Impastas. My name is Kyra, and I'm here today with Chris, Eugene, and Layton. We took on the COVID-19 Chatbot Challenge. With COVID-19 information changing daily, how do we provide the general public with the most up-to-date information?
Introducing MedBay, your pandemic pal. MedBay allows users to ask questions and provide swift responses. MedBay allows for a smooth flow of conversation by handling a variety of questions. Thanks to Google's Dialogflow, integrating MedBay into existing apps is easy. Developers can simply copy and paste the HTML code from its web console into the chosen web page embedded our chat box.
We used React to implement some simple UI components, Vercel to host our chatbot,
and as suggested by the experts at NIC Hawaii, a dialogue flow to create the chatbot itself. As for our process, we began by familiarizing ourselves with our chosen tool set, as well as the information sources we were working with. We then compiled a list of about 30 different types of questions users might ask based on the given information. Finally, we built a knowledge base of COVID-19 information and provided each of the question types identified with a predefined response. As mentioned previously, our chatbot is very easy to incorporate into an existing website thanks to Dialogflow's built-in integration options. Additionally, the easy-to-use web interface makes updating the knowledge base painless and can also be used to access basic analytics and insights, such as the most frequently provided answers by date range. Using the training tool, we can even use data from actual conversations with users to further improve Medbay's ability to recognize questions.
Medbay is able to respond to any question, no matter how it's worded, due to Dialogflow's machine learning capabilities. COVID-19 related information can be found within Medbay's knowledge base, which saves the user the trouble of searching through countless websites. This also reduces the load on call centers like Aloha United Way's hotline that are not available 24/7. But Medbay is. A user can go to Medbay any time of day with their COVID-19 related questions or concerns and receive help.
Our team divided the work between front-end and back-end teams. Chris, Umi, and Colin worked on both the web page integration and the chatbot deployment. In addition to styling the UI, Eugene, Kyra, and I worked on setting up Medbay's knowledge base and interactions. We attended the workshop sessions to learn more about the challenge and were able to probe the experts at NIC Hawaii for valuable insights on technologies to use and potential designs.
Medbay appears in the bottom right corner and prompts the user to see if they have any questions. Let's go ahead and give that a try now. Let's try some common questions. For example, let's ask Medbay if wearing a mask is important. As you can see, Medbay gives us a reply and prompts us to continue asking more questions. Let's try asking about gatherings. Great to know. Now, let's see if I should be tested for COVID. To finish up this session, we just need to tell the bot that we are done. Our second implementation of Medbay is the dedicated chat window. Medbay appears in the bottom right corner. Medbay appears.
Okay.
You guys done? Okay.
Yeah,
Time? Time?
Thank you for your time, everyone. Are there any questions?
Questions can start now.
We're perfect too, nice.
This is Christine. Thank you for the presentation. Any bright spots of lessons learned throughout this process that you're going to take with you to your next challenge?
I can speak a little bit to that. I think it was good that we definitely started off by really becoming familiar with Dialogflow and the tools we were going to use first before just jumping straight into it. If we hadn't done that, maybe we would have. Well, I think it's good that we knew all the different capabilities Dialogflow had before we started, because we might have started off doing something that could have been done easier, basically. So that's my takeaway.
And that's time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Impastas, for your presentation. Up next, we have Over Easy. So team Over Easy, you may share your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're ready.
Aloha, we are Team Over Easy taking on the NIC Hawaii Chatbot Challenge.
The problem we are addressing as a team is the fact that information surrounding COVID-19 is always changing and scattered across multiple sites. Because of this, it can be hard for the public to get important information such as state laws and services. Our task was to create a solution that consolidates the information in one place. Our design approach is to have an application that is easy to access and be effective. To accomplish that, we use modern software tools such as Meteor for instant data updates across clients, MongoDB to provide an easy way to transfer and store information, and Google Dialogflow for built-in text parsing capabilities backed by machine learning to communicate with our users. We designed our tools around one idea: flexibility for the long term. With our chatbot application, we provide an easy way for administrators to manage the information dispersed to the public.
So how is our product flexible and sustainable? We accomplish this in 2 ways. The first is that we give admin accounts view, add, remove, and edit functionality with regards to our collections. That way, the admin can easily control and update the information that our chat box is delivering to the community. The second way is that we can receive constant user feedback through our report system. We want to quickly be able to address any issues that our users are experiencing, so we allow them to report any problems they notice with our application.
So how will we create change? Our chatbots will be able to quickly disperse new, easy to access, beneficial information to the public. This will help everyone to do their part in ending this pandemic. Here's our team. Eric worked on the app's interactions with Dialogflow API to provide local intents functionality. Alessandra worked on the front end of our reports feature. Myself, Shane, I helped work more on the front end of the side of our project to update our collections, and Irene worked on improving the user interface and displaying the API on the front end side.
All right.
1 minute? Oh, you're going on.
Our interactions with the subject matter experts led us to 2 main issues that needed to be addressed. 1, provide an easy way to manage the content provided by the bot, and 2, to provide a good user experience both in successful and unsuccessful situations. Our solution provides a seamless integration between these 2 issues. If the user's requested information is not already available in the system, they are prompted for a maximum of 2 additional times before they're asked to report their issue using our report system, providing an endpoint for both successful and unsuccessful interactions. Furthermore, because our app allows for adding, editing, and removing intents within the app itself, the admin can quickly resolve any user issues all in one place. Now we'll move on to our chatbot demonstration.
Having difficulty finding reliable information on COVID-19? Introducing OverEasy's COVID-19 chatbot. This application serves as a one-stop shop for COVID-19 information related to Hawaii. Upon landing on the site, the user is prompted with a short tutorial. They will notice that the chatbot supports both text and voice inputs. A user may ask where is the nearest testing center. Immediately, the chatbot provides a clear response. The user has access to 2 support lines and a report a problem button. Here, they can report a technical issue. A special feature of this app is a direct admin access. Here, they have the ability to add new intents, edit current intents, and view all reports. Because the app interacts with the Dialogflow API directly, it saves the hassle of having to learn a more complicated console. Instead, they can make changes all in one place. OverEasy, an easy way to help Hawaii get over COVID-19.
All right, that's it for our presentation. We'll be taking any questions.
Okay, starting the clock on questions. And judges, do we have any questions?
I'd like to ask how many questions they were able to build into the system.
So currently right now, our system supports 14 different options. However, with our admin access, you can add as many or customize any of the current available options. I want to add that this is probably very beneficial, especially in regards to COVID-19 information constantly changing. Services are always being added.
I noticed you guys had a voice interface. Is that English only, or would it be able to handle foreign languages?
Currently, it's English only, but Dialogflow does have their own integration that allows for foreign languages. We can add those in later.
Thank you. We're done. Time's up. Excuse me.
Okay, thank you, Team Overeasy. The last team presenting for the chatbot challenge would be Salesforce Gurus.
Hi,
Go ahead and
before you start, my judges, please note that Salesforce is the last line on your sheet because of misalignment. Thank you.
Hi, this is Dennis. Can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay.
Please go into presentation mode.
And so my name is Dennis Markunis, and I'm on the Salesforce Gurus team. This is the COVID-19 chatbot challenge, obviously. So our team members, I did configuration, Whipawee, business analyst, data collection, content, Veronica, data collection and content, Clay, decision tree. We use Lucidchart to map out our methodology on which questions we wanted to ask. Requirements and sustainability. So Kona right now is functioning prototype. You could actually put it on your live today. You wouldn't want to do it, I'll explain why, but it's almost ready to go, to be truthful. 24/7, the key takeaway, timely and accurate information. So that means a really robust artificial intelligence model that can get the latest correct information to the end user. And of course, 24/7, web-based, anywhere around the world. Secondarily, reduces the burden on state resources. You don't want to have to open cases, answering phone calls. Obviously, there's some tools that are on the Salesforce platform that can help the state even minimize that even more. To get started, you just add the chatbot to your official state website. The platform spits out the HTML to do that. Natural language understanding is enhanced by adding more dialogues. We all know how chat bots work on dialogues. We have added 3 of them. I'm going to demo them today. Self-learning, over time, the chatbot becomes smarter, learns every time somebody hits the chatbot with a question. Salesforce knowledge, we did not configure, but it sits on the platform. You could have any articles from the state of Hawaii served up and presented to the user. Multi-language, dozen major languages available out of the box, no coding, including Japanese. Design approach. So basically, we obviously went with a tried and true vendor. Salesforce has, and the key takeaway of the top 5 bullets is the Einstein Artificial Intelligence Engine.
That's 1 minute.
Okay, so I'm going to get going here onto the demo. So let's see, here we go. And I'm going to show you the state mock-up here. Let's see here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm here to help, bottom right. I click on that. An agent is on the way. Of course, this looks just the same in your mobile. You could put that link into your mobile device and it'll work. I'm considering travel to Hawaii. Use case number 1, I'm on island looking for other information. Use case 2, let's go with I'm traveling to Hawaii. What do I need to know? We would love to have you visit our tropical paradise. We're open. Please read this website. So I click that open and that's gonna open to the Department of Transportation website. I can read up on that. Was I able to help you? Yes. I'm gonna ask one more time. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, I think I'm good, Kona. Hope I was able to help. Are you happy with our chat? Again, this is a post-chat survey. It's not set up yet. We actually didn't have the licenses to do that. I'm gonna go one more. I'm gonna go the other use case, and that is, actually, I think with the time remaining, I'm gonna show you a little bit under the engine, under the hood, how this is set up. So here in Salesforce, I'm logged in. This is the pictorial representation of all our dialogues. That's how you can kind of piece them together and figure out how everything works together and everything flows. Secondly, here is a dialogue. This one is, I think I've been exposed. That was one of our 3 dialogues. These are called utterances. You need 20 of them. This is where the creativity of the team came in to put these together, having to ask these questions as many different ways as you can. Can I expose my family to the coronavirus? How long does it take to get
That's time.
exposure, etc. And then lastly would be the analytics from
That's
all
time. Moving on to Q&A. Judges, do you have any questions on Q&A? For Q&A?
I guess it was another good one, huh?
Thank you. This is Christine. You mentioned that you can put the chatbot on different government websites. Can you just describe that a little bit more as far as?
Yeah, so this button is created in Salesforce, the system coughs out HTML, and you can give that to a webmaster on various websites, and it would all kind of run on the same engine that's on the Salesforce Service Cloud. But that's how you could have it on multiple websites. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And that's time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you to all of the teams that presented for the chatbot challenge. Up next, we have the challenge presented by ETS, which is the State of Hawaii Executive Branch IT Portfolio and Roadmap Visualization. This challenge aims to bring the State of Hawaii's IT portfolio visibly public. For the first team, we have team crewmates. You may now share your screen, unmute your mics, and begin when you're ready.
Right, hi, my name is Jan. Oh, sorry, my name's Joshua. I'm Jason. And we're the crewmates. And our challenge was the State of Hawaii Executive Branch IT Portfolio and Roadmap Visualization. So the challenge presented to us was about how Hawaii's executive branch has an IT application portfolio management system not available for public view due to sensitive data. So basically our job was to showcase that data in a creative and insightful way to the extent that of the data available to us. Since our application is meant for the public, our specific approach was to design for as wide an audience as possible. So the importance of our solution sort of lies in the benefit of providing transparency. And so the more information shared to the public by the government, the more trust we have in them. Our applications, data visualizations, and the insights that can be obtained from them can better show users that what's going on behind the scenes and how good of a job is being done by the government.
Okay, so for the workflow, what we basically did, we came up with an agenda, we gathered requirements, and we discussed it in periodic meetings. After that, we would code, and that would be the process which we would repeat. Whenever we needed more information to complete our project, we would ask the folks over at the ETS Slack channel. We also utilized GitHub project board to keep track of issues needed to be done, currently in progress, and that are completed. So for the design approach, we first made sure that the goal solution presented in the use case scenario was adhered to. So such as presentation of the current state and roadmap of the IT portfolio and the impact of incomplete data.
1 minute.
We also wanted to make a design where the user can understand why this is important. So in order to create the application that was modern, responsive, and insightful, we decided to use React, D3, Bootstrap, and Material UI. And then how can our solution be adopted? So the technologies we chose are the standard for development, such as React being one of the most widely used frameworks for building UI, D3 being a powerful library for data visualization, Material UI being a library based on Google's Material Design language, and Bootstrap being the most popular framework for creating mobile-first design. These 4 technologies were used to develop our app, and for good reason. They are widely used in development, and they are constantly maintained, providing for a robust base that can provide a long-term solution. And then
Our application is deployed at the top link and our GitHub repository is at the bottom link. When users first arrive on the site, they will see the main dashboard page. This page will contain metrics relating to the IT application and projects, visualized as different graphs for easy viewing. This is the IT roadmap tab for the various IT projects and applications. Here are the projects and the applications they belong to. This is the project timeline with each project start date and completion dates with some additional data on the top. And this is the application timeline. This is the department's tree hierarchy. Where we click on a dot, you can see a department, subdepartment, and the relating applications. This is the application grid for each department's applications. And finally is the timeline for the major information systems and their corresponding roadmaps.
That's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Q&A. Judges, please ask your questions now.
All right, this is Doug. What was the hardest part of working with the system, the existing?
So for our application, the hardest part was actually coming up with which visualizations we should put in our application. We were kind of left to our own devices with how we could design the app. And so we could get super creative, but that was more difficult because it was such a wide range of what we could do that we had to narrow it down. And so we had a lot of problem with that, but well, we did the best with what we could do.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, team crewmates. Up next, we have Team Lokahi. You may now share your screen and begin when you're ready.
Okay, can you hear me? See my screen?
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Please go into presentation mode. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I did the ETS challenge also. I'm a very keep it simple kind of guy, and that's the approach that I took with this problem, which is they need to provide information to the public. Some additional problems that I ran into along the way was completeness of the data, the naming conventions for the departments and stuff. I'll show you that in a second. And then I think us being all IT people, we understand things that the general public might not. So there might need to be like a FAQ or something that you present to the public of like, hey, this is what this term means. So here's a solution I used, standard LAMP stack Linux. It wouldn't have to run on Linux, but that's just what I went with. The key is the Metabase software, which is an open source charting and graphing tool. It's updated constantly, has a huge community. And then Couch content management system. I use that for my own personal ease. I'm sure the state already has a content management system that they could leverage this solution into. And then the result is a user-friendly solution. And the most important thing to me was to give the admins at the state the ability to create whatever charts. I'm not a graphing expert, so my charts are super lame, but I'm sure that there are smart people out there that can build really cool charts with this data. So I just wanted to give them a tool that they could take the data that they know better than anybody and share it with the public. And these bullet points right here are the simple steps to create a new chart. And I am going to do that in just a second. And yeah, so transparency is super important to me as a social issue. And so even if I'm not successful with HACC, I hope this solution helps the state and they can show us their good data. So this is the web page. When it's complete, various charts and graphs, you can also link to a page, and that will be just a chart by itself on that page. Or, sorry, that's a count, but you get the idea. Pages. So here is the Metabase I'm sorry, I can't get to the tab because there. Here's Metabase software. It's very simple. This is already has the state CSV loaded into it, but it could connect directly to their database, which would be the better solution. You ask it a custom question, you choose your data source. Let's go with projects. What filter do we want to, let's do project risk. Okay. Let's get high project risks. And let's put in a count and visualize that. Okay, we get 21, cool. Let's take out that count and put in number of distinct values by owner agency, 13. Well, that's failing miserably. Sorry, folks. I was hoping to find some good data on the fly here, and I'm not. So the point being, if you have a chart that you have created, all you have to do to that chart is click on it and then come here and share it. You get a link, you copy the link, you pop into your cloud, your content management system, pop your link in there. Turn it into a hyperlink, paste, okay. Refresh your page. And now you're going to have your new.
And that's time.
Okay.
Any questions for Team Lokahi? Judges?
This is Christine. Thank you. You mentioned transparency to the public. I just wanted to know if you had any revelations coming out of this challenge that you would have liked to see different.
Well, specifically with this department, I had no idea how many plates they're spinning at one time. As just a citizen, you don't have that view into what all they have going on and what they have to manage. And they have some real legacy. I mean, we've all heard with the COVID stuff, they have some real legacy things that they're having to deal with. So all that information was very interesting to me.
Thank you.
And that's time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Team Lokahi. And thank you, everyone who presented today. Great job, all the participants. What a tough time do we have for our judges. So the judges will be moving you into a breakout room, or we will be moving the judges, sorry, to a breakout room to tabulate the scores and announce the winners. Right now, we'll be doing the People's Choice poll. So let me post that. Go ahead and follow the link. I'll also be posting the link in chat. The poll will be up for about 10 minutes. So please vote for your favorite presentation. Oh, thank you, Caroline. And then we'll tally that up, and the winner of the People's Choice poll will win a prize.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. Welcome back, everyone. HACC's been very fortunate to have generous support from the community. Without our sponsors, we would not have been able to provide such great prizes and a number of educational workshops. So I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. Our Terabyte sponsor, Transform Hawaii Government, has been a huge supporter of the HACC since it began 5 years ago. We thank them for their continuous support throughout their years, and I'd like to invite its executive director, Christine Sakuda, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Doug. Aloha, everyone. This is Christine Sakuda, and I've really enjoyed being a judge on the Hawaii Annual Cone Challenge and also supporting it as a sponsor. It's a great opportunity for students at all levels to get involved in civic engagement initiatives with the state, and we're very proud to be supporting that. And so congratulations to all the teams that made it to today and for sticking with the technology. We're so proud of all of your efforts, and you are the bright spots for us in the future. Mahalo.
All right, thank you, Christine. I'd like to also say real quick that I was very impressed with all the presentations we had today. I thought the teams were outstanding. There were a couple applications I think are ready to go right now. And I was very impressed. I think these are the highest scores I've given at a hackathon. So thank you. We'd like to give a big thanks to our Gigabyte sponsors, Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union and Microsoft. And finally, our mega sponsors, NIC Hawaii, Google Cloud Carahsoft, Hawaii Data Collaborative, AT&T, Revacom, and Spiridion. We would also like to recognize the IMAG Foundation for being our fiscal partner this year, and mahalo to our community partners who helped us make this a great event a reality. Office of Representative Mark Nakashima, PCAT, Hawaii Technology Development Corporation. We'd also like to thank all of our workshop presenters for 2020, Daniel Liu from Google Data Analytics, Court Chambers from PCAT, Vince Wong from the State of Hawaii Chief Information Security Officer at ETS, Alec Wagner from Purple Maya, Blaze Hanagami from Mililani High School. Margaret Latonio and Dylan Souza, International Institute of Business Analysis, Joe Clancy from Microsoft, Stefan Opsel from Rendezvous.io, Cam Moore from HACC HUI Development Team, and George Lee from HACC Tech Coordinator. HACC has taken place over a 4-week period, but the planning for it has taken place over months of meetings and discussion. I'd like to recognize the executive committee for its amazing work, dedication, and commitment. Thelma Elaine, Sheila Buyukakar, Stuart Crawford, Philip Johnson, Caroline Julian Freitas, George Lee, Stefan Opsel, Bryant Sanchez, Yusi Sapola, Ed Souza, Brent Tanaka, and Jarrett Yip. I'd also like to thank all the volunteers for lending a hand today. Thank you everyone very much for all you've done to make the HACC possible. And now, Mark, back to you.
Thank you, Doug. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, we would be announcing the winners right now. So first up, we'd like to announce the winners of the swag bag. Here are the submissions for the swag photos. Okay. And the winners are, for first place, Veronica Kinzer. And for 2 second places, we have Blade Costo and Ethan Ibanez. Congratulations, the first place winner, Veronica, you've won a $25 Starbucks gift card. And the 2 second place, you each get a $15 Starbucks gift card, okay? So moving on, we'll be announcing the winners today for the 5th Hawaii Annual Code Challenge. We'll start off with the icebreaker. So the icebreaker challenge winners are Ethan Ibanez, Christine Ophelia, and Cyril Rigger. And congratulations to the icebreaker winners. Sorry, also to mention for the swag bag winners and the icebreaker winners, if you haven't already done so, please provide the HACC staff your email address so that we can get in contact with you and send you your winnings. Otherwise, I think I get it by default. No, just kidding.
So if you could Slack me, direct message me on Slack, your email address so that I can order your gift card. Thank you.
Thank you, Thelma. So winner of the People's Choice Award is Uber Easy with their NIC COVID-19 chatbot. Congratulations, this was the poll that was sent out over Google Forms and everyone voted and they voted your presentation the best. Okay. So the winner for the high school category is DFE for the category in the Hawaii State IT visualizations. Congratulations, it was a great presentation and we look forward to seeing more. All right, so for third place for the Hawaii Annual Code Challenge is, and third place is the recipient of $1,000 prize, TriGeeks in the category UH-ITS Building Security and Guest Access Management. Congratulations. For second place and for the winners of $2,000 cash prize, Gain the System for again the category of UH-ITS Building Security and Guest Management Access, or Access Management. Congratulations to you folks. And for the winner of the HACC 2020 challenge is, drum roll please. Over Easy, yep. Congratulations, Over Easy, for the NIC COVID-19 chatbot. Very well presentation, very timely, very critical for servicing, not only the citizens of the state of Hawaii, but also for constituents and visitors who are coming and who need answers during this pandemic. So congratulations, team Over Easy. And now I'd like to allow the governor to give his closing remarks for this year's challenge. Governor?
Yeah, thanks, Mark, appreciate it. I just really wanted to express my appreciation to all of the sponsors. I know many of you have been with us for all 5 years, and I really do appreciate it. You make it possible. And so Christine and the rest of you, I really appreciate you stepping up and really allowing us to move forward. I just wanted to put a final challenge as you guys, all the participants get ready for HACC 6 next year. If we can figure out a way to do virtual lunches and bento delivery as part of this virtual conference, I think that's what I miss the most is having the opportunity to share lunch with many of you. So that's the 6th year challenge, I think, moving forward. I really wanted to congratulate all of the high school teams. I really thought that the high school applications were really a lot further along than they were last year. And especially a shout out to the teachers and the coaches that support those teams. It's very obvious that our students have come a long way. And it certainly inspires me what the future holds. I taught myself how to code in assembly language in my junior year in high school. And it's really remarkable to see what you guys are able to do. And certainly congratulations to DFE for doing such a great job. I did want to send a shout out to Doug Murdoch and his team at ETS and the HACC executive committee for really organizing this year. We ended the 4th HACC and had great plans for this 5th year anniversary. And you guys really pulled it off. Many things were changing. We had to really rescope the whole program. And I really appreciate all of you being flexible and terrifically creative in coming up and creating a competition that really exceeded the normal standards for this competition. So Doug, Mark, and Caroline, and the rest of the executive committee members, Thelma, just thank you guys all for really putting together a terrific contest. And then finally, to all of the winners, congratulations. You know, it is amazing. We do see for 5 years, we've gotten better and better and better at this. And I think all of you have demonstrated once again that the tech future for Hawaii is very, very bright. And I really do appreciate the energy, the creativity, and the excitement that all of you bring to this conference. And for those of you who didn't win, I still think you're all winners, because every year the apps and the projects are getting better and better and better. And the competition is getting more and more intense. So I really want to appreciate all of you for taking the time and being part of the 5th HACC and making, most importantly, making it such a successful event. So thanks all to everyone involved. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm really proud to be governor of the state of Hawaii, and it's because of all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. Thelma, Sheila, do you have any other closing remarks that you'd like to make?
Yeah, I have one closing remark. I'm sorry, I'm going to be dotting I's and crossing T's. Team winners, I will be contacting your captain with a W-9 form. If you're a high school team, you need to have your adult advisor sign it for you. In order to be able to issue you a check, we'll need to have a W-9. Everybody else, please, as Mark was saying, Slack me your email address so I can send your gift cards to you. Otherwise, Governor and First Lady, thank you so much for this opportunity to participate in this event. We blew away the numbers from the last year. We were like double and triple numbers of things. And I don't know if people were bored or that the challenges were awesome this year, which they were. But I'm still blown away with how good we did considering what we were dealing with. So I'm thrilled with how we did. And today went off fairly seamlessly considering we only had a few people with some connectivity issues. So kudos to everybody. I was really impressed with the applications, and I'm so heartfeltly grateful for everybody who worked on this event with me. And it makes me realize what we can do when we work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Thelma. Sheila, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I do want to say working with the executive committee has been phenomenal. We would not have been able to get the challenges that you've been able to put your good work to. Phenomenal work from Philip, Stuart, and Ed. So congratulations for being part of our team. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Thank you, Sheila. You know, thank you to everyone who participated, the sponsors, the SMEs, the committee, you know, and all the participants. You guys did a phenomenal job. Thank you again. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great and safe holiday season. And thank you for participating in the HACC 2020. Mahalo.